Many of us are aware of Gene's impact on children and families and all the individuals that have been served, but his reach is far greater on his impact on so many professionals that he's had the opportunity to mentor and teach and launch. And so I stand as one of those professionals who get to carry on in Gene's name and incredibly influenced by Gene. So Gene, thank you so very much for that.
Two things kind of stand out for me that I would like to acknowledge publicly with you. When I got to the agency, Gene identified himself as a forager, like a bee, who would forage to bring back resources to the hive, the LCFS hive. And that is so very true. That is so Gene. But Gene, the way that I would frame that is that you are the eternal curious student of people and of ideas. So you have constantly, in the 20 years I've been at the agency, been out there drawing new ideas into the agency. And that might be for new program services, like from the Alliance or from Lutheran Services in America. It might be about what's the best thinking about Lutheran social ministry, Foster McCurley and Carl Tolkien and others. And what happens is you bring those ideas in and they nourish us. That's energy inside the organization. It ever changed. It's not the same organization today it was 20 years ago. So I thank God for you, and I thank you for actualizing that energy and bringing it to us as gifts. So that's one. The second thing I wanted to mention is what I would consider your intuitiveness. Gene, you are the one who knows what's important. You sort through all the noise and the static to know what's important and what's needed. And that may have to do with broad social issues. That may be welfare reform or faith-based agencies involved in service across the country. Or it may be at the level of a client. There's been a harm that's come to a client. And the agency needs to mobilize in some way about that.
Never been there. Welcome to the club, Gene. I'm the retired CEO from Lutheran Social Services. And one of the things I want to say is about what an incredible colleague Gene has been to so many of us in this room. But in 2009, when I showed up at Washington, D.C. at my first LSA meeting, all alone, didn't know anybody there, Gene took me to dinner. And that was the beginning of what he does with so many of those of us like this. When we go through tough times, as we have been through in these years with the state of Illinois and such, this is one of the folks who calls you, says how you do it, and really cares about that. And he's done that for so many of us. That Gene, welcome to the club. It's a great one.
Gene, with all my love, you know that I have a lot here for you and Carol. I just wanted to thank you to be a man of integrity. I'm so lucky nobody else said that word. They left it for me. Gene and me started almost the same year. He was a wonderful person with a lot of love and compassion. One more thing, you're gonna miss my tamales, Gene. I'm very sure. And also Carol. I'm so very, very happy. And we got closer because Gene has his daughter Christina. And maybe that's why he gave me his love, because I'm Christina too. So Gene, I will thank you from the bottom of my heart, and don't ever forget me. I have my greatest respect for you, and the way you really handle your position was great. Now, Mike, everything is in your hands.
I'm a retired CEO of LCFS in Michigan for the last 15, 16 years now. When Gene came to work here, I was already with the agency agency over there in Michigan. And I came to know Gene certainly as a leader early on in my acquaintance with him. And Gene, I just very briefly say to you that I have valued our relationship, and having counted you as a friend all of these years, I'm just so glad that you have been blessed with your work the way you have been. And I know you, and I know that you're going to continue to find ways to serve in your retirement years. You and Carol are, I think, going to have a good time with it. My wife, as you know, is not here this evening. She does not travel anymore. When I talked with her last evening, she said, "You be sure and tell Gene and Carol that I wish them all the best, and I wish that the Lord will continue to bless them as He has in the past with the work they do and just the people that they are."
I've heard of all of the wonderful things that Gene has done in the community and through the service here. But I served 9 years with him on the synodical board for human care. And I saw him reach out across the world in Lutheran immigration and refugee, in the tornadoes and hurricanes, in dealing with people in every avenue, Lutheran World Relief, chaplaincy. And I saw him work diligently and spread his faith and the gospel message to each one of us on the board and throughout the community as we met with all of these other agencies. I congratulate and praise God for you, Gene, and I've loved you dearly all these years and will continue.
So here's some words that have come up tonight and that occurred to me before. Champion. Champion. Words that Gene's, my relationship to Gene, and knowledge of him evoked, is a champion of children, youth, and families. And he would say the least of these. He's kind and compassionate. And compassionate in the way that you would think of, seriously, your understanding of Christ's life on earth. He worked with the lame, the blind, the sick, even the dead. You know, well, probably haven't crossed that bridge. And good thing, you know, the subject came up of this is better than a eulogy. Yeah. One of the differences is there was a response. And Gene's response was wonderful. He was thanking others. It wasn't about him. It was about his gratitude for various people and experiences in his life. Isn't that so Gene? You know? Honesty, integrity, accountability. Gene led the way on policy-based governance implementation with the board over the years. So he could be, not just he could be accountable, but so the organization could be accountable to the board, and the board would know what they're doing. And so the next board, and the board after that, it wasn't about just his tenure, it was about the future. And that's the way Gene thinks. Discernment, especially in the arena of nurturing and identifying future leaders. Mike is a case in point, and we're so delighted about that. Thoughtful and respectful. Gene excelled and excels at the careful way to bring people along, particularly when change is occurring or change is involved. It's an inclusive way of working with teams, and he's a master at it. Energy, vitality, enthusiasm, all of that, I think, are descriptors of Gene. So what I'm trying to say is that it's been a great honor and privilege to work with Gene, as it has been for you. It's so for me. And like me, I think we all consider him a great friend. Gene, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to present you with this testimony to, here's what it says: break down the wall that would divide thy children, Lord, on every side.
My neighbor's good, let me pursue. Let Christian love bind warm and true. From Lord of all the nations, grant me grace.
It is so appropriate, Jean, that we're honoring you in 2017, because 2017 is the 500th anniversary of the Reformation and the 20th anniversary of Lutheran services in America. And it's appropriate because the Reformation founded Lutheran social ministry, which you have spent almost your entire life being called to serve. From Martin Luther's theological insight into grace, where we need not be curtained on ourselves, but serving our neighbor, to the founding of the community chest in Wittenberg in 1522, where people consolidated resources to hire a doctor, to found a hospital, to provide low-interest loans for artisans so they could be productive members of the community. You know, Lutheran social ministry has been all about community, being in community with each other and with our neighbor. It's been about treating people with dignity, respect, not about ourselves, but about the other. And it's been about providing opportunities for people so that they can be self-sufficient, so they can be independent. And so, you know, you, who is one of the founders of Lutheran Services in America, one of the signers of the Articles of Incorporation, and one of the first board members of LSA, so clearly reflects the tenets of Lutheran social ministry and the Reformation. You know, you recognize the importance of community, of being in community with each other, and of deriving strength from people with shared mission, shared vision, shared values. You recognize the importance of treating all people with dignity and respect. And you've spent your lifetime providing opportunities for people to be self-sufficient and attain successful adulthood in life. So Jean has done this and so much more for all of us who are honored to know you, and for the thousands and thousands of vulnerable people that you've walked alongside your entire life. Now, I'd say we're going to miss you, Jean, except, of course, Jean is already an active part of the retired LSA seniors network. So we need the opportunity to continue seeing Jean. And the only thing that we ask, as you know very well, my staff always ask about Carol. So we always want Carol to come with you. We are hoping that Carol can come to our annual conference, our lean meeting, and be with us again. So thank you so much on behalf of Lutheran Social Ministry.
My name is Nancy Ronquillo. I've had the blessing and privilege to know Jean for maybe 40 years, close. A couple things I would like to thank you on behalf of not only me, my life, but all of my colleagues. Many of her over here were rabble-rousing, as you might expect. Jean's gift for storytelling is profound, right? But long before there was some new age, whatever, let's tell stories, Jean has known about storytelling, and I think there probably isn't a person in the room who has not been inspired and challenged and enriched by Jean's storytelling. One additional gift that Jean brought, not only to me, but to the organizations that I have had the privilege to be a part of, CCA, Child Care Association, Child Welfare League of America, the Alliance. Jean's always brought those ideas. David, you were great. Yeah, Jean is an idea man, and he knows how to kind of capture them and share them in a way that everyone says, wow, that's something I want in my life, not just something that Jean would hoard or say, you know, that's just for me to do. Carol, I appreciate your beautiful hospitality for when Jean invited a few of the CCA board members to learn about the Carver model of governance. And I would say many of those thoughts and lessons and challenges have stayed with us for the duration. But one of my most fondest memories, and I will cut it short here, Mike, is it was a dinner meeting after a long conference day, whatever. You, Jean, myself, Diane Yost, we were dining. And we were sharing stories. And we got to the point, and drinking, got to the point where we were laughing so hard We almost had to have the Heimlich maneuver. It was just incredible. So thank you for that joy. Thank you for all you've done to enrich our lives. Thank you for your leadership.
My name's Mary Holly, and I'm representing the Alliance for Children and Strong Families, or Strong Families and Children. They just changed their name, as Mike said. You know, one of the things, I've worked with Gene for many, many years. And the first time that I met him was probably 35 years ago. And we were in a Child Care Association meeting, and Gene was passionate about something. I honestly do not remember what, but I remember his passion. And over the years, he has demonstrated that passion for families, for children, for those people that are disconnected, that need assistance, that need help, that need someone to walk alongside of them. And Gene has been there all the time. And through that passion and his relationships, he has impacted the system of care across the nation. And we are forever grateful. And I just said to him as we were outside, he has remained relevant his entire career. And his relevance will continue. And his vision and his ideas will continue. And force us to think differently, think better, and never forget those who need us the most.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Susan Dreyfus. I'm honored to serve as the President and Chief Executive Officer of the National Alliance for Strong Families and Communities. Gene, hi. It is wonderful to be with you, my Iowa friend. Gene and I both grew up in Iowa and share a lot of stories whenever we're together. Gene, I can't thank you enough for what you have done for our field and for our sector throughout your amazing career. Each and every day, you demonstrated the very best of our sector. You knew that there was an imperative for our sector that you could never let go of, and that was that we're more than just providers of programs and services under contract with others. We're transformational agents of change within society. It's in the way we provide our programs and services. It's our leadership. It's our partnerships. It's our innovative spirit. But Gene, you also understood that paramount responsibility to advocacy. Whether it was for the individual child, the family, the state of Illinois, or this entire nation, we could always count on you to feel within your heart and within every ounce of your body, you could feel inequity and injustice as if it were happening to you. And you never shied away from lifting your voice high in advocacy on behalf of others through a true values-based lens. My friend, I cannot thank you enough. You have taught me so much over these years that I have had the privilege to know and work alongside you and learn from you. Our network is better because of you. I also have to say to Mike, to your board of directors, to the staff, to whom much is given, much is expected. I think the mark of great leadership is that when a person like Gene announces they're leaving, you throw them a great party, and I hope you're having a great time, and I'm so sorry I can't be with you tonight. And I hope that for a while people will go, oh, remember when Gene was here, and we'll look back. But the mark of a great leader is that an organization, after they have departed, gets even better. That takes what this leader felt was so important and takes it to a level they did not think was possible. That's now your responsibility. That's now the greatest tribute you can pay to Gene Svebakken. So Gene, on behalf of this network, on behalf of me personally, on behalf of our board of directors, thank you. Job well done, my friend. And I know our paths will continue to cross. Bye-bye.
I shared my basic thoughts relatively spontaneously at our gathering earlier this afternoon, and in which I really talked about the things that shape one for a career in social services, and that really involves family and community and faith, and how grateful I am for the many blessings that I've experienced. And as I look around this room, I feel a connectedness with every person in this room. And that is so important to me. I think you've been overly kind, because that's not really how I see myself. I just see myself as doing the best I could with what I had at the time. And so this is a real, this event is a real honor. I really appreciate seeing so many of you, and look forward to seeing all of you again in future events. So thank you again.